Listen, I don't want any more bullshit.
Yeah, what's up to the real Colts fans, baby? The ones that say we suck when we suck. And when we kick somebody's ass, we ain't scared to say we kick somebody's ass. It's your man, Harkon Ajala. And I want to welcome you. If you're coming back, what the fuck is up, homie? If you're coming here for the first time, I want to welcome you to the one and only official, world-renowned, bullshit-free Colts podcast. The only podcast where you can hear all things Indianapolis Colts. But here's the catch. When you hear it here, you hear it with no coach speak, no PR, no fucking spin, no political correctness, and most importantly, absolutely, positively, 1,000% no bullshit. Now check this. I gotta be real with y'all. I'm a little confused after yesterday. I'm a little confused because the national media, the national pundits, the national experts, they told me that my Colts team and your Colts team, they were all right, but they didn't know if they were real. They weren't sure about them. They hadn't beat anybody. Well, see, I'm a little confused because last I checked, they beat the Titans 9-4. Then they beat the Green Bay Packers, who I believe are 10-3. Okay. Then they went on the road and they beat the Houston Texans, the hottest team in the league at the time. And then you know what they did? In spite of the narrative that the Colts are just an okay middling team, not for real, fool's gold. Despite that narrative, despite that noise, let me tell you the signal. Let me tell you the real. What the Colts did is they went on the road against the Raiders, a very good Raiders team that was desperately in need of a win in order to stay in the playoff race. And the Colts sunned the fuck out of the Raiders and the rest of the national haters in the NFL. Rivers put on a clinic. Taylor put on a clinic. Nyheim Hines put on a clinic. Kenny Moore put on one for the ages, one of the greatest interceptions I've ever seen in decades of watching football since I've been a little kid. Your Colts blew out the Las Vegas Raiders 44-27 yesterday, and it shouldn't even have been that close. Really, it should have been 44-20, but still. They blow out the Raiders 44-27 on the road, moved to 9-4, dropped the Raiders to 7-6, and precariously close to being out of the playoff race. And look, for people still trying to figure out who the Colts are and if they're for real, I mean, I don't know what the fuck you're looking for. 9-4 ain't real to you? 9-4 ain't real to you in an AFC where you got like 8 or 9 teams that have 8 wins or more? For real? On a day when a team goes on the road and passes for 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, and runs for 212 yards and holds the other team to just 6 points in the second half? That ain't real? You can't tell if that's real? If you can't fucking tell that's real, then you're probably wearing fake ass gold right now thinking it's real. You probably bought your wife a cubic zirconium and thought it was fucking real. I mean, yo, I don't know what they need to do at this point before you say, oh, okay, yeah, apparently they are for real. I mean, I heard people bragging about the fucking Raiders, and they damn near lost to the Jets last week. They should have lost. And real quick, for the fucking nuts out there who want to say, oh, well, the Colts should have lost last week, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Let me tell you, I'm just going to shut this down right now for those who didn't know. Okay? You can go look at the analytics. At the point that the Texans were at, second and goal on the 2-yard line, they were only 44% to win according to the analytics. But beyond that, understand something. If they had scored and kicked the PAT, they would have had a 1-point lead. Now, people acting like what, the Colts couldn't get 40 fucking yards and kick a field goal in a minute to win? Nah, I'm not feeling you. So you're just saying, oh, they would have lost. Bullshit. Bullshit. Look, being the bullshit-free Colts podcast, I don't sugarcoat shit here. I'm not gonna blow smoke up your ass and tell you that it's weed, okay? The whole purpose of what we do is to call it like what it is. That being said, I'm not gonna be like some of these cornball self-hating motherfuckers in this media market that don't have the balls to say when their team is good. This fucking Colts team is good, period, end of story. They showed improved yesterday. And we're about to jump right into it. Before we do though, make sure that right now you go down, like this video, share this video, make sure you're a subscriber, because when you like the video, it helps us out a lot with the YouTube algorithm, lets YouTube know that we have real motherfuckers watching our videos, not bots. So I appreciate that. Also, you'll see in the description, there are a couple links where if you like what we're doing here, you can just donate just to help us make more of these and keep going. It could be $5, $10, $20, it could be $1. Any amount helps. I appreciate you. Look, that's why your boy started this podcast, for me and for you. Because I know that you, just like me, needed a place to hear the real fucking deal about your team from somebody who watches them, actually watches them, pays attention, and knows what the fuck they're talking about. I'm tired of the fucking know-nothings on the national media. Not saying that they're idiots or they're not good people, but they don't fucking know what they're talking about. And I know you're tired of it too, because I see it in the comments that y'all leave underneath the YouTube version of this podcast. There's some good comments, some great questions. By the way, that being said, let me shout out a lot of y'all who are active in the comments, who are supporting the podcast, because I appreciate you. So big shout out to Outrage Gamer, my boy Alec Grosk, Mountaineer Vapes, of course, who's always in the place, Felix Francis, Chris Gardaki, who has some good stuff. Also, my dude, Chris Dwayne. Can't forget Authenticate. My man, Doug O'Keefe, is in the house all the time. I appreciate you all. Make sure, leave your comments, your thoughts, whether you agree or disagree in the comments. It's so helpful for us to know what we should cover. And it also helps me to, sometimes I'm like, oh man, they made a good point. I didn't even think about that. So I appreciate everybody commenting. I appreciate y'all supporting. I've gotten some donations. I appreciate that. Now let's jump back into this shit, because with everything that went on in the game yesterday, we're going to just jump right into the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right? Let's do it. I talked about this earlier. I mean, there was so much good shit happening in this game. And you know what? When the Colts are ass, when they play like trash, I'm going to let you know. That's what we do here. But again, when they ball the fuck out, they ball the fuck out. I'm going to say that too. Yesterday, they balled the fuck out. T.Y. Hilton, 5 catches, 86 yards, 17.2 yards per catch, and 2 touchdowns. Both of them beauties, but the first one was insane. Back shoulder catch, contested as fuck, in the end zone. Big corn-fed ass DB trying to take it away from him. T.Y. snatches it. And the second one was like a 45-yard touchdown pass where he just got behind the DBs like 8-9 yards. Beautiful. T.Y. is the fuck back. Phillip Rivers, let me just say this about Phillip Rivers. Now, I'm going to be real about it. I'm a man up and own up to this shit. Early on in the season, I was that little bit of a doubter. I was concerned. I was a little cynical. What I was seeing, I was like, I don't know if this guy might just be a okay player. Like, we win in spite of him if he doesn't do anything stupid. But look, at this point, I mean, the proof is in the fucking pudding. Like, you Phillip Rivers haters, at this point, if you hating on Phillip Rivers, kill yourself, because I don't want to hear it anymore. Man, that motherfucker is balling like a rich man alone at a hoe house. You feel me? I mean, he put on a fucking clinic yesterday. I went back and watched the game film. I mean, he was looking like an elite quarterback yesterday. And for people who, are like, oh, whatever, let me ask you. I mean, you tell me who's playing better at quarterback than Phillip Rivers right now. Besides the obvious ones, okay, we got Mahomes, We got Rodgers, right? Who else is playing better than Phillip Rivers right now? I'm not saying nobody else is playing well, but I mean, give the man his props. Give him his props where props is due. You know, I was one of the people who was like, I don't know if we made the right choice, but I mean, you go down the line of the other options that the Colts had, tell me which one would have been a better one at this point than Phillip Rivers. Tom Brady's playing like ass up in Tampa. They're winning in spite of him, right? I mean, who else could we have had? Nick Foles? Motherfucker's benched, right? Could have had Teddy Bridgewater. He's hurt or whatever, but look, you know, when he's not hurt, he's doing exactly what he's always been doing, which is just being a guy, just a dude. He couldn't make it as a starter for two teams for a reason, folks. Who else? Cam Newton? Benched. Who else is out there that we could have went with instead of Rivers? Fucking Jameis Winston. This motherfucker can't even beat out Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill's beat him out to take over when Drew Brees was hurt. Taysom Hill's thrown like 4 passes in the fucking NFL. If that. Let me give you Rivers' line yesterday. 19 of 28, 245 yards, 2 TDs, no interceptions. The dude's QBR rating's like 98. Fucking balling out. Yeah, he had a shaky start, but again, there was no preseason. There really wasn't an off season. So you have to give him that give him that leeway that okay, they weren't on the same page. The last 6-7 games, this dude has been putting on a fucking clinic. Jonathan Taylor, 150 yards rushing yesterday on just 20 carries, 2 touchdowns, 7.5 yards per carry. This is like the 3rd game in a row Jonathan Taylor has balled out besides the one that he missed. Nyheim Hines, 7 carries, 58 yards, 8.3 yards per carry. You fucking kidding me? One of Taylor's touchdowns, a 62-yard barn burner where he outran like 700 motherfuckers at the end of the run. Hines, a 30-yard run. Multiple dope-ass catches. Then you got to give it to Flus's defense as a whole. Now, you know, I heard people say, oh, man, they started slow again. I mean, they gave up 17 points in the first half. I mean, you want to call that starting slow, but, I mean, y'all do know the Raiders got a little bit of an offense. Like, Derek Carr is number 8 in QBR rating in the league. You feel me? Their rookie Ruggs is killing it. Josh Jacobs was back. He's a beast at running back. Like, they got a huge offensive line, one of the best in the league. People like, oh, we didn't get any pass rush. I mean, they got 17 points. We started slow. I mean, I don't want to be too crass for some of y'all, but like my father used to say, dude, the other dudes got dicks too, okay? You ain't going to be the only one fucking. I mean, they are paid professionals. The other team's going to make some plays too. Some of y'all are just stupid. Like, yo, I mean, you know, like you think the defense is trash if they don't hold the other team to 2 points every week. Get real. The other team has dicks too. They're going to make some plays sometimes. But when it counted, the defense made plays. And in that second half, they held the Raiders to just 2 field goals. I'm not counting that bullshit garbage time touchdown at the end, because the Colts had their second unit defense in and they were playing prevent. They just wanted the Raiders to hurry up and score. So, you know, we get the ball back, kneel down 3 times, get the fuck out of there. On top of that, as Andrew Walker pointed out on Twitter, and he's dead on it, that fucking touchdown run that Derek Carr made at the end, it was blatant fucking holding on that play. That should have gone back to like 2nd and 15 or 3rd and 15 or whatever it would have been, 3rd and 18, and they wouldn't even have got that touchdown. And you know, again, I'm not going to get into a big conspiracy because I don't think it was a conspiracy, but the real talk is the refs, they let them play yesterday, and man, they let the Raiders get away with 7 or 8 blatant holds that I personally counted that affected plays that the Raiders made. Like, they affected the play being able to be made. It is what it is. We still won by 20 or whatever it was. So it's all good. But don't try to tell me the defense was ass yesterday. And then finally, another good thing, and I'm saying this publicly because I have, for most of the year, up until the last few weeks, I've been all over Frank Reich's play calling. But look, Frank Reich, he play called his fucking ass off yesterday. I mean, he pulled out all the stops, and he had some beauties in there, including that brilliant wildcat play that they used to score the last offensive touchdown, where they used Nyheim Hines in the wildcat, and he ran the run-pass option and flipped it over to Jason Taylor, who ran in 8 yards into the end zone untouched. That was a fucking thing of beauty. You go back and watch the tape. You can literally see the Raiders confused at, like, what the fuck is going on here? Where's Jacoby Brissett? He's the dude that runs the Wildcat. That was beautiful. Frank made some fantastic play calls yesterday in the game. I mean, he's been good, really good, the last 2 or 3 weeks, 4 weeks actually. Yesterday was a thing of beauty, without a doubt. So with all that being said then, what was bad about yesterday? Well, the pass rush was not fucking great. Now, I heard Big Joe and Kevin Bowen, some guys, this morning on the radio, and they were saying, oh, well, you know, it wasn't the Derek Carr. He doesn't get the ball out all that fast. Yesterday, he was getting it out pretty quickly yesterday. There were a few times he held the ball a while, but, I mean, they made adjustments. He was getting the ball out pretty quick yesterday. That being said, the pass rush was not where it needed to be. We got some pressure on him a few times, but there were several times that he was able to stand back there too long, and that's why they were so good on third down. If you go back and look, they were like 8 of 12 on third down or something like that. The Colts right now, real talk, the Colts are a Freeney/Mathis level pass rusher and probably a healthy Paris Campbell away from being a dominant fucking team in the AFC. They got to get a killer pass rusher. Now, look, I'm not fucking crazy. Jim Irsay didn't just drop by and give me a big-ass bag of pills to pop. So I know that it's much easier said than done. Getting a vicious Freeney-level, Robert Mathis-level pass rusher, it's not like you can just put a fucking order in and they drop one off from Amazon Prime. I mean, they're hard to get. I get that. I'm just saying that is what they need. The jury's out on Toure. I mean, he may not be 100%, but from what I've seen, I don't see it yet. It's not there yet. And, the thing with pass rushers, usually it's there from the beginning. You feel me? Like, they may not be polished and have it all put together, but you see it. You see that it factor. You see their ability there from the beginning. I don't see it in Toure yet. I've seen flashes, but the motherfucker's hurt all the goddamn time. So much so that we really haven't had a chance to really see him. I don't even think he's fully healthy at this point. But that pass rush, like, when we start talking about going to the Super Bowl, we start talking about having to play teams like Green Bay again. We start in the bowl, or having to play, get past a team like, the Chiefs. You got to have a pass rush. Any great quarterback like you, they can't sit back there with plenty of time. If they do, they're going to pick you apart. So that's what wasn't that great yesterday. That was bad. Now, what was really ugly? Well, crazily enough, insanely enough, it was one of the same players who dominated yesterday. What was ugly was fucking Kenny Moore's first quarter was uglier than Caitlyn Jenner with no makeup. I mean, that was trash. I was all ready to. I was thinking, man, I'm gonna have to do a podcast talking about Kenny Moore's first trash game. After that first quarter, I mean, that dude, he got beat deep. He got beat for a touchdown. He had a fucking, horse collar, 15-yard penalty. I mean, he was getting killed. And then suddenly, to his credit, man, I love Kenny Moore. He's one of the best players on that defense. He kept rolling, and he ended up turning that game into a classic over the last 3 quarters. Trust me on this, my friend. If you were lucky enough to witness live Kenny Moore's leaping one-handed interception in the end zone in that game, then tonight you better thank whatever God you pray to, because I can almost guarantee you, you will never see a better, more amazing fucking interception in your lifetime on this planet. I mean, that shit was better than a free surprise blowjob. Real talk. So kudos to him. The other thing that was really kind of fucking ugly was the lapses in our pass coverage yesterday. Our pass coverage usually really good, but man, we had like both of those touchdowns that they got. You go back and watch, they came off of lapses in our secondary coverage. People making mistakes, busted coverage, or guys not doing what they should be doing in the coverage. That shit was ugly. You know, you take away those 2 breakdowns, maybe the game is 44-9, possibly 44-12. I mean, a win is a win. But again, we're just talking about, as Frank says, and he's right about this, you got to be focused on getting 1% better every day, on constant improvement. That's one of the things that they got to look at, man, because they're going to see, if they're going to go deep and make noise in these playoffs, they're going to see outstanding offenses again, and they're going to have to be able to, play them. And if you have those kind of fucking lapses against Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes, they'll still be running when the fucking gun blows at the end. They'll still be running into the end zone. I mean, you can't do it. But look, all said and done, I'm not fucking complaining here, and let's be real about it. Again, give credit where credit is due. That was a big win. That was a big pressure win. On the road, a win where it meant a lot, and if you lose there, man, that's fucking problematic, because now you've lost straight up to the Raiders. You'd be tied with the same record as the Raiders, but they'd have a game up on you. If you end up with the same record, you lost to the Browns, they'd have a game up. You lost to the Ravens. That, you feel me? So all of our losses have been in the AFC. So not good. And then we dropped that one to we dropped that one to the Jags. I don't even want to revisit that. But you and I both knew that would be, at some point, we'd be really lamenting that shit. We have the chance to make it not bite us in the ass so much now. But let's be real. If we'd have won that game right now, we would be 10-3, and we'd be in sole possession of first place. But it is what it is. That's in the past. That was a big win. Let's give it to them. Let's move forward. And next week, if we can stack another win and beat the Texans at home, we'll really be in good shape. And we'll virtually guarantee ourselves a slot in the playoffs. Right now, we're definitely looking good. But let's get one more and definitely kind of lock ourselves in. So, can't wait to talk to you guys about that Houston game. That's going to tell us a lot as well. I'm going to do a new segment today, and this is inspired by y'all. I'm going to do a new segment today, and I think I'll do this every podcast. We're going to call this segment Hard Ass Questions. I'll just take a question every week that I think is a really good one and a tough question from one of you guys. So I'm going to use this week, I'm going to answer a question from Mountaineer Vapes. Mountaineer Vapes, he asked in the comments on last week's podcast, he says, so quick questions. If available, would you pick Wentz, Stafford, or neither? Why or why not? This is a great fucking question. And it's a hard question. It's the kind of question that fucking coaches never answer, and that's why I don't even know why journalists bother asking them. But, here's the thing. There's a couple things we got to take into account there, because number one, Rivers is playing so well right now that you got to figure you bring him back next year, at least for one more year. If he continues to play well and you get in the playoffs and win one or so, you got to figure you bring Rivers back. He'll know the offense. He'll have everything, a connection and be in sync with the receivers. You're looking forward to bulking up more of your playmakers next year and getting back Paris Campbell. I mean, I want to see that. He's playing as well as any quarterback has played here since Manning. I mean, he doesn't have all the tools Luck had, right? But if you're honest, the last 3-4 weeks, he's played every bit as well as Luck. You know, without the weird 4 high throws every game that Luck would have for some reason. But let's assume that everything goes to shit. Phillips says, no, I'm not going to play again next year, whatever. And we got to look at what quarterback do we want to do. I mean, between Wentz, Stafford, or neither, and I think you probably have to, let's throw in some others in there because a lot of people have talked about Sam Darnold, making a trade for him, because obviously the Jets are going to pick Trevor Lawrence. Of all of those, I would go with Stafford. If I had to pick between those, yeah, I would definitely go with Stafford, and here's why. I think of all the possibilities out there, he's the best one out there, and here's the deal with Matt Stafford. I mean, if you've been watching or paying attention, and, you know, granted, almost no fucking body has because he plays for the Lions, and they haven't been good since the fucking Ravens were still the Browns. So nobody's really been paying attention or watching closely, but Matt Stafford has always balled out as a pure quarterback and passer. The only thing that bothers me about Matt Stafford is he just doesn't seem to have that winning gene. And if you've been watching football for a while, you know what I'm talking about. It's that thing that guys like Luck and Phillip Rivers and Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, I mean, obviously Aaron Rodgers, the list goes on and on, but it's just that thing where when you need them in the clutch, like they can make big plays to win games for you. Stafford has never seemed to be the guy that gets it done. His numbers always look great. He can throw the ball maybe better than, like just as a pure thrower, damn near better than anybody in the game. I mean, his fucking arm is outstanding. He has a cannon for an arm on a fucking rope. But I just don't know if he has that winning gene. But of all of them, I would go with Stafford. And then, believe it or not, after Stafford, I probably would give Sam Darnold a try because Sam Darnold, I can see he still has the tools. He's mobile. He has a good arm. I still think he could be a good player, but he needs a new culture. He needs to be surrounded by a winning culture with winning coaches, people who know what the fuck they're doing, who can, take him under their wing and show him, look, man, this is what you got to do. Take the pressure off of him. He's playing in the pressure cooker that is New York with, the incredible pressure and expectations of being like the number 3 pick overall. And they gave up a ton of picks to get him. I still think Sam Darnold in the right situation could be a pretty damn good quarterback. Man, fucking Carson Wentz. I mean, I watched him. I couldn't believe his fall either, but this is not really, if you're really honest, he's never been right since he got injured and Foles had to come in. Since he came back from that injury, he has not been the same Wentz. Some people might forget how much he was killing it before that injury. I mean, he was in the MVP conversation, and rightfully so. What the fuck has happened after that? I don't know, but he looks completely broken. His confidence looks gone. I mean, he's inaccurate. He's making bad decisions. He's doing everything that you don't want in a quarterback, particularly a quarterback you got to pay $35 fucking million for per year for a few years. Like, man, you just can't have that. That's the type of decision if he doesn't, like, you want to reclaim him, but as like a reclamation project, we can fix him. We can rebuild him on some old Steve Austin $6 million man shit. But if you can't rebuild him, you cripple your whole fucking franchise with a move like that. So, yeah, I don't see it with Wentz. And, now if Ballard and Reich made the decision to bring him in, I would trust them and say, okay, they see something I don't see. They know more than me, obviously, and I'd hope for the best. But, man, I don't see it. Of those three, I would go with Stafford. And then, if I had to, Sam Darnold, because he's younger, and I still think he can be saved and actually turned into a good quarterback if you get him in the right culture, the right fit with weapons, and without all that pressure. So, Mountaineer Vapes, big up, salute to you, homie. Thanks for the question. I want to thank you, the listener, for taking your time to be here with me in the bullshit-free zone where we can discuss our beloved Colts. Let's go see what the fuck we can do in the Luke on Sunday. Beat the Texans down, go to 10-4, and all but wrap up a playoff spot. Let's go get this shit done. Whatever happens, you know your boy will be here for you. As always, I'm Harkon Ajala, a.k.a. the Bad Boy Genius. I thank you for being here. Once again, real quick, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And as always, for any Colts players, coaches, front office people, hell, the owner, Mr. Irsay himself, sorry for the joke, so it was just a joke. If you're listening, because I know some of y'all do, I'm going to leave you with what I always leave you with. Let's go win another fucking Lombardi, baby. Peace.